So today I'm going to talk about a tablet that honestly surprised me. It's actually a tablet from Walmart. It's the ONN 12.1 inch Tab Pro. And technically I don't know if they call it ONN or ONN, but either way I really wanted to give this tablet a shot because it has a very good price point and I know a lot of people have been checking it out. And it really did surprise me a lot more than I expected because this tablet is actually pretty good. But is it worth buying for you? Well, let's find out in my full review and let's get right into it and talk about the Walmart ONN Tab Pro. So I found this tablet at Walmart for $180. And whenever I bought it and opened it up, I was pretty shocked at what I found. First off, there are multiple different color options if you want rose gold or if you want a color like this red color. It does make the design look so nice, and whenever I first got this out of the box and held it in my hands, I realized that this design is pretty darn good. It does feel premium in the hands, and it actually feels a little bit better, in my opinion, than the Tab A9 Plus from Samsung, and it feels very similar, I would say, to the Lenovo Tab M11. It just feels very nice and premium. It feels like a very nice metal back here, and of course you do get two speakers on each side of the tablet, and overall it does feel very lightweight, but it just feels very, very good and well built. And I did forget to mention, by the way, that there is an SD card slot here. But also, if you move on from that, you're gonna find out that this does have a 12.1 inch screen. And that's a really key differentiator here because a lot of the competition for this price point, they're normally gonna release a tablet that's like 11 inches in size. But in tablet world, you do often pay a little bit more if you want a larger tablet. And we see that with the Tab S9 FE and the S9 FE Plus, or even with Lenovo, you typically pay a little bit more if you want a larger screen size. So even if the specs are very similar here to something like the Tab A9 Plus or the Tab M11, you will find that the screen size is one big advantage for this tablet here. It's a 2560 by 1600 resolution. Now it's not AMOLED, obviously. I'm sure it's not some OLED display. It's actually very limited information that's out here on this tablet. I don't even think you can find it on GSM Arena. So it's really hard to tell exactly what technology they're using here, but either way, it does look very, very nice. And this tablet does have a 90 Hz refresh rate, which is something that I'm relieved to hear. So with the really good resolution on the screen, and with it just looking fairly good overall, I'm just impressed with it as far as the quality of the build and the display, and the performance is actually pretty good too, because we do get 6 GB of RAM and a Helio G99 processor. Basically, you're gonna get similar performance here as the Tab A9 Plus or the Lenovo Tab M11. It still is budget performance, so it's not gonna be as good as the S9 FE or some other mid-range options around $300. They're not undercutting people that good as far as performance, but still, you are getting a very good performing tablet, and I would say it does perform very similarly to other tablets in the US that are over $200, mainly between $200 and $300. But some competition out there, like the Tab A9 Plus, again, some of those tablets only come with 4 GB of RAM, so to see 6 GB here, it is going to help a little bit with multitasking. So overall, if you look at the design, if you look at that build quality, and if you look at the display and the performance, I would say that you actually get a little bit of an edge here over most tablets, and you get a better price point, at least as far as the retail price. Of course, sales can sway things, and I know the A9 Plus goes on sale quite a bit. But if you want that 8 GB of RAM model, you normally pay a little bit more, and then whenever it goes on sale, it's still normally a little bit more than this tablet here. So to get 6 GB of RAM here, and to get a bigger screen, that's a really big deal too, because a lot of those other tablets are going to be a little bit smaller than this. Now the base model does come with 128 gigs of storage, so you do have enough storage for most people. And if you're wondering what type of battery life to expect, I wouldn't expect super awesome battery life, but it will be pretty typical for most tablets around this price point. But one of the negatives here, it's going to be the software experience. Now for some people, it's actually going to be a great software experience, experience, but for others it might be a little bit lacking, and let me explain. So for one, I don't think you're going to get a lot of great software updates here compared to other competitors. Of course, some people said that they actually got one big operating system update last year with last year's tablet, so maybe you will get one big update, and that's really nice to hear. But that's not a guarantee, and this does come with Android 14 out of the box. Now on the plus side, it does have a very stock version of Android. And if you want vanilla Android, I would say this is going to be one of your best options. It may even be more vanilla than a lot of Google options out there. Now that is great in some sense, but you do have to realize that this tablet also doesn't have other software features that you might want, like tablet app optimization. So I know Samsung, they do a pretty good job overall optimizing apps that really aren't meant for tablets and then optimizing them to work with their tablets anyway. Lenovo does a great job as well. Even Google tends to do a decent job, even if they just put black bars on the sides of the apps. But if you do want to use an app that is really meant to work with a phone in the portrait orientation, and then you try to use it on your tablet in landscape orientation, it's not going to work. Instead, it's going to flip over sideways, and then you're going to have to flip over your tablet to use it that way. That might not be that big of a deal to you. If you're someone out there, or maybe if you're a kid and the app just flips on you, you might just flip over your tablet and use your tablet like that anyway. So this tablet would be very good for children, and it's also good for adults who just want to do the basics on their tablet. If you want to read the news, maybe you just want to watch some media, you just want to go do 2 or 3 things on your tablet and get out of your tablet. As long as your expectations aren't super sky high, this is actually going to be a really good tablet for the money. If you want better software optimization, Samsung is going to have it. If you really want Samsung DeX, Samsung is going to have that as well. Lenovo also has great tablet options, and the Lenovo Tab M11, it actually has a stylus that will work with it. And you can't get a stylus to work with the Tab A9 Plus, so Lenovo does have a great tablet option for those people who want a stylus at a cheaper price. And the Lenovo Tab M11, it does tend to go on sale even cheaper than the A9 Plus, and even cheaper than this tablet here. So if you are wanting an option that's like 11 inches in size, and you just want a good tablet for your kids, but you want to spend as little as possible, the Lenovo Tab M11 might fit the bill for you. And the Tab A9 Plus, it's a little bit better if you do get the 8GB of RAM version. And I would say it might even be just a little bit faster than this tablet here. And it has a few extra software features, and it's going to have a little bit of better software updates. So there are some reasons to go with Samsung. I would say it's the best all-around package if you do get the version with extra storage and with extra RAM. But the one thing that that tablet doesn't have, and the one thing that the Lenovo doesn't have, it doesn't have a really cool red color option, and it doesn't have the size, of course, which is a really big advantage for this. Also, the resolution is a little bit better here as well. And it has stock Android, which some people will really like because there's not a bunch of extra apps on your tablet. Now, there aren't a lot of accessory options available for this. You might only find a couple options on Walmart's website, but it does come with the charger, which is really nice, including a red charger, and the charging brick does match actually the tablet itself. The build quality is great, it looks good. We may get one software update if the past is any indication. So overall, I really do like this tablet. I think it's really good for those people who want a cheaper option with a larger screen size. I think that's pretty much the extent here. And if you're okay living with some of those minor software compromises, well, I think you're gonna like it. If you're okay with less updates, and if you're okay with having to turn your tablet around every once in a while, this will be a very good option for you. Yeah, there are some options around this price point that are almost just as good or maybe even better in some ways, but it really stacks up well against Samsung and against Lenovo and their competition. But I would personally, due to that software issue, I would personally probably steer towards Lenovo or towards Samsung, but that's just because that would be a minor annoyance for me. You may be a little bit different and you may just want a larger screen size. So hopefully all of the information in this review has helped you out, but I do highly recommend this tablet, and if you do want to check out the links, I do have links in the description below. Also, if you do want to support me, another way to support me is to like this video, subscribe, and I do have a lot of other tablet content out there. I cover a lot of budget tablets, but also a lot of higher end tablets as well, and Android phones, and a lot of other things Android. So feel free to follow me and check out some other content if you get a little bit of time, and no matter where you're at in life, I hope you have a great day, and I really, really hope you enjoy your week.